Hello and welcome to Forever Rugby Beyond Forever Sport for today's World Rankings preview as we enter the final stages of the group games or the group stage. We are going to be looking at the World Rankings and not something that a lot of people have been paying a lot of attention to, but it always is interesting when you go to World Cups and you tend to play tier 2 nations which are far lower than you. Certain teams will play more tier 1 nations and the World Rankings can actually change quite a lot, which is always quite interesting. In 4 weeks' time, well, I suppose 3 weeks' time, really, and 3 weeks Saturday, we will have a new world champion who will be the number one in the world. That will be the case. That with regardless of what circumstances, for example, how it comes, we will have a world champion. We'll have a best team in the world because that is the title you earn when you win the World Cup. You are the best team in the world. However, until then, this is the only way to really gauge who is the best team in the world. Inverted commas, and always interesting to see from the world ranking perspective how that then plays out in the tournaments, which obviously sort of will guide us with regards to full draws and the seeding system and stuff like that. And I think everyone sort of has realized that this last time the pools were drawn far too early and it needs to change. But again, maybe it'll be interesting to sort of look at the pool the rankings from back when the pool stages were drawn and how that plays out now in the tournament, as well as where they were before the tournament and how that sort of played on the tournament. So I think you can look into it to a certain degree, but obviously it's not a rule. But John, before we talk about exactly what the permutations are, please do smash like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. These are some of the main permutations, right? Ireland, France, New Zealand are unable to improve their ratings this weekend due to facing lower ranked opponents. The Irish can only surrender top spot, however, if they are beaten by Scotland. So whilst teams cannot improve their ratings can drop, and therefore things can change. So Ireland, with a rating of 10.36 points higher than a fifth-ranked Scotland, will be replaced at number one by France if the Bleu beat Italy and Irish lose by any margin. So Ireland lose and France beat Italy, France will go to number one. If there's defeat by more than 15 points, Ireland could drop down to fourth, with Scotland climbing to a new high of third and South Africa moving up one to second. So a big Scotland victory could see them go to a world, a high record high for them. Such a scenario would also see Ireland miss out on the quarterfinals if they fail to score a bonus point and defeat. So imagine that. All of a sudden, they could go down to fourth in the world. Scotland would overtake them. They wouldn't make the quarterfinals. And all of a sudden, the Irish golden generation would have flopped, in inverted commas. I don't see it happening, but it could happen. It would also see, so that scenario that we just mentioned now, would also see New Zealand side victorious over Uruguay for one place to fifth, equaling their lowest position since the rankings were introduced in 2003. France will fall one place to third, swapping to place with South Africa if held to a draw by Italy and Lyon, a result which could lift the Italy into 10th. France could slip to fifth if they lose to Italy, and New Zealand and Scotland are victorious against Uruguay and Ireland, respectively. South Africa, despite not playing, actually end the weekend as number one, but this would require Ireland and France to both lose by more than 15 points. This sequence of results would take Scotland to second above Ireland and France, and South Africa to first. It is possible for New Zealand to plummet to a new low of eighth, although they'd have to lose by more than 15 points, and Italy beat France by the same margin, as well as wins for England, Ireland, and Wales. Quite a lot that would have to happen for New Zealand to worry about going down to eighth place. England, Wales, and Fiji, ranked 6 to 8, are also unable to improve their ratings with victories over Samoa, Georgia, and Portugal. However, it is possible for them to still move up the rankings if the teams above them lose by sufficient points. One side who can move up because of victory is Japan, who will jump 3 places to 9th if they beat Argentina to confirm their place in the quarterfinals for the second successive tournament. Argentina would then fall 2 places to 11th if that happened at another pool stage exit. 3 if the margin of defeat is by more than 15 points. So they can go down to 12 if they lose by more than 15 points. However, if Argentina reach the quarterfinals in style with a win by more than 15 points and the higher ranked teams above them win their matches, 8th place will be theirs for the taking. Italy could also shoot back into the top 10 with victory over France, potentially to a new high of 6th if Argentina, England, Fiji, and Wales also suffer defeat. Very unlikely, lots happening there. Japan stand to fall 2 places if they lose and Georgia and Samoa beat their higher ranked opponents. If they can repeat their victory over Wales from last November, Georgia would climb 2 places to equal their record high of 11 of Italy and Japan if Italy and Japan are beaten this weekend. A win by more than 15 points could take the Lilos up into the top 10 for the first time to as high as 8th and see them ranked above Pool C rivals Wales and Australia. Tonga cannot improve on their 16th place even if they beat Romania by more than 15 points. They can close to 0.66 rating points behind Samoa, though. Romania will fall 1 place to 20th if they lose to Tonga, swapping places with Spain. And they could be a higher rank to the two nations if they beat Tonga in the first Rugby World Cup meeting. Tonga will drop 2 places to 18th in defeat, even if Portugal and Uruguay are also beaten with 19th possible if they lose by more than 15 points to Romania. Such a scenario would see the side swap place, Romania jumping 4 places to 15th, their highest position ever since February 2022. And even in victory, Tonga will fall 1 place if Portugal beat Fiji to claim their first ever Rugby World Cup victory, which would lift them to a new high of 14th. And defeat could potentially ruin the chances of Fiji's hopes of reaching the quarterfinals for the first time since 2007, while also seeing them drop out of the top 10, depending on the other results. Lots going on this weekend. I hope that all made sense. We've tried to make it as simple as possible. So basically, um, France could be number 1 at the end of the weekend. Ireland could be number 1. South could be number 1. Scotland could be 3rd. Ireland could be out of the World Cup. Yeah, it could be a whole new top 10. Lots could change. Lots could change. I don't think people are really worried about it. I don't think people are really focusing on this. Obviously we've got Rugby World Cup quarterfinals, semi-finals, and finals to worry about, which is probably more important. But this is probably the last weekend where the world rankings could actually not necessarily mean something. It could be quite interesting. So let me know what you think down below. Give me your predictions. Give me your 1 to 10 prediction. Where do you think everyone's going to rank based on those scenarios at the end of this weekend? And let me know who you think will be number 1 at the end of the weekend. Put them in the comments below. Smash like on the video. Subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Stephen. I'll chat to you soon.
Okay, guys, so we'll get underway sharpish with New Zealand's even match briefing. So to my left, Cody Taylor, who's playing 2. To his left, Greg Feeks, scrum coach. And to his left, Ofa Tungafasi, who's wearing the number 1 jersey. So if we could take the first question here in the middle, please.
Greg, I feel like this week there's been lots of chat about the competitiveness within the team. I mean, can you just give a sense of how eager some of these boys are to get some game time under their belt?
Yeah, so we do at trainings, we do at the end we do some skill blocks, and the boys do some work-ons that they feel like they need to improve on, and in that there's even the focus, the intensity in some of those drills shows the fact that they are really trying to get that little bit extra to prove themselves, and the good thing about that is we've got that competitiveness, but we've also got those guys that are competing for spots, actually helping each other do it, and I think that's where, in all the teams I've been in, when you see the boys working together like that, wanting each other to get better, proves a good sort of, I suppose, where we sit with everything. So that gets me excited, the boys get excited, and we know that whoever gets the jersey is going to do the business.
Ian Foster says that you've got to have that balance between paying attention to this week but also having an eye towards the future. I mean, what are you looking for this week that will give you what you need in terms to feel good about the future?
I suppose from last week, the standard that we set around a number of our areas, keeping some continuity with that is first and foremost, and that in itself will give the boys confidence. It'll cement a few things so that we can get some real rhythm going.
Hey Cody. Ian spoke yesterday about the importance of cultivating an edge. He talked about how sometimes that comes from the opposition, sometimes that's situational. When you play a team, you're expected to win. How do you go about trying to cultivate the same edge, as like the opening game against France or something like that?
I think a lot of the language we've used this week is around individual preparation and mindset, getting yourself right. I think, you know, you're not wrong in saying that when you're playing, I suppose, proposed big games, there's a bit of edge straight away because of how tough they are. But in saying that, you know, we've previewed Uruguay, and they're a really confident team. The way their captain speaks, they have a lot of belief, which is awesome to see. I think you know, they back themselves, and we've prepared accordingly. And like Fiki said, there's again been awesome edge at training this week to make sure we perform. I think, you know, on the back of last week, that's all we want to do is front up and get the little things right.
And offer, obviously, the set piece was exceptional last week. I think you guys won 6 scrums against Italy. How do you go about trying to maintain that or get close to that level?
Yeah, Fiki has touched on it slightly, also Cody, but I think it's related to that question. For as long as I've been playing, one of the toughest challenges of the week is preparing for a team that you know that will be easy to overcome. And when that happens, you tend to leave stones unturned. You know, you take it easy on some areas, but for as long as I've been in this environment, it's about our standards, and that's what's important to us. And no matter who we play, our intention and our focus is to go out there and play to our standard, and you know, have a performance that we can be proud of. And then it's no different from this week, last week, and previous weeks. As we raise our standards and try to be better. Doesn't matter who we play, and obviously that's an area that we've been working on, and it's great to see that it's heading towards the right directions, and we're going to use this week wisely as well to prepare for whatever happens in the future. As Vicky said, we've had a good week training. It's always competitive at training, and we have good people that in our circle that are willing to help. Doesn't matter who's got the opportunity to go out there and represent us. We all all help out and make each other better, I suppose.
Thank you. I have the next one at the front and the second one at the back.
I will ask in Spanish, so if you can get
So
the
if you just
translation.
put one earphone in. Yeah.
A cualquiera de los tres que quiera responder, una pelea, un argumento que han tenido los equipos Tier 2, Tier 2 en este torneo ha sido reclamar más competencia como esta, como con equipos de primer nivel mundial. ¿Qué opinan ustedes sobre su competencia, sobre la posibilidad de tener este tipo de partidos, ya sea contra Uruguay, contra Portugal, contra Rumania, fuera de la Copa del Mundo? ¿Qué es lo que están reclamando esos equipos, poder jugar durante el periodo entre Copas del Mundo para no enfrentarse de pronto al nivel de competencia directamente en el Mundial? Muchas gracias.
Yeah, I think that it's great that Tier 2 teams want to play Tier 1. You know, I think 10 years ago there might have been a bit of fear of doing that, or they weren't prepared for it. But I think now that there's actually the want, I think it's exciting for rugby. I think, you know, as a game, how far we can take the game, who knows, on a global level. And I suppose it comes down to logistics, and for players would be one thing that comes to my head, but I don't want to get into too many, things around that. But and games, where do you fit it in around other tournaments and competitions? So I think a lot of those questions are for guys that get paid a hell of a lot more money than we do, and who probably run the game. But for me, it's exciting that anything positive for the game of rugby is great, and seeing Uruguay and Chile and Portugal and how they've prepared themselves for this tournament, not to mention the other ones, has been outstanding, and loved seeing all the teams play.
Thanks, Greg. At the back there.
Hey, Greg, when it came to the reviewing Uruguay ahead of this match, how much time did you spend on looking at that game that they played against France earlier, where we, saw them actually push France for a decent part of that game?
Yeah, we actually, as a team, were sitting watching that game, because obviously we're curious to see how they go, and like I just said, that was part of what got us excited, and probably just made us go, we can't get complacent in this tournament about anyone we play. So we looked at that. We saw, you talked about it the other day, about how many turnovers they get in breakdowns, how physical they were, and even some of their backs, quite electric too. So, we've done our homework. We have to. And the beauty about this tournament is we've been able to watch a few games coming into this one.
Thanks, yeah.
One for Cody. Since the opening game against France, Cody, does it feel like to you this team has been able to take some shifts, go up some levels? We've had only 2 games to see for ourselves, but obviously you've had all the training sessions and so forth. Are you confident that you've been able to go up the required levels and are ready, I guess, to enter the business end of this competition?
Simple answer, yes. I think we've had after France, we reviewed that game. There were opportunities. We did let ourselves down at times in that game, and I think since then, we've had, the 2 games. We had that bye week, and we really looked at ourselves and what areas we can be better at. Just the way that teams have been playing. Just little things within our game, I think, is working on that has really helped us. I think after last week, that we're not going to get another game like that in terms of score. We prepared really well for Italy, and the boys were right on. I think leading into the back end of this competition, it's obvious playoff footy's not going to be like that. But I'm confident to say that we're trending in the right direction, and there's good things in our game that we're working on to be able to front up. All going well, we get a chance.
And just for you, Arthur, we've all enjoyed watching you play a lot of rugby at this World Cup, especially with Ethan being suspended. You've had a reasonable workload. How are you feeling, and how are you feeling about your game? Is it where you want to be, or do you feel you've still got another level to go to individually?
Yeah, obviously not the circumstances for Ethan, but I've taken my opportunities of 2 hands, and I'm happy with where I am at the moment, but there's always another level to reach, and there's always things to improve, and I've had a good week preparing for this game, and looking forward to tomorrow night.
Cody, another 2 tries for Dane last week. Does he let you know about that a lot? And could you talk a little bit about his influence on the squad in general?
He lets Sam Sonny know about his tries. Him and Sonny have a bit of banter between each other, but no, he's a humble man. He come on and scored a couple, which is awesome to see. He's pretty good at getting over the chalk, so his influence, his leadership, his standards that he demands and drives in the team is world class. It's exactly what we need. We talk about All Black standards, and he's a man that lives them. His role is vital for this team, and I think he's really put his hand up. He's been performing well, which means there's great competition in the hooker role. So it's always good to see what he calls an old bugger going well at his age.
Thank you. And I know you don't want to get any further ahead than this match, but with Ireland playing Scotland on Saturday, is it a team, Ireland, that you've just started to, Ian was saying, you've got one eye on making sure you're ready for the next stage? Is it something you've started to think about in moments on your own?
Oh, you have brief moments where you think about a quarterfinal and what that might look like, but I think the great thing about this team and this tournament is that we've focused on each week as it's come, and that's been the way it's been this week. You know, we can't look past Uruguay, and to be honest, if we get the chance to, we go to a quarterfinal, I don't really care who we play. It's a quarterfinal, you got to front up no matter what, and prepare accordingly. So, yeah, whatever that looks like, I'm looking forward to the challenge. All going well.
Great, just here.
Greg, yesterday I was at the airport, at the arrivals terminal, and there was this massive guy with a Stade Toulousain bag. So just wanted to check if Jerome Kaino has paid a visit to the camp. Or if not, he will.
Yeah, no, Jerome's unavailable for squad selection. And yes, he is floating around. He is doing some stuff with New Zealand Rugby, I think, but it's great to see him. He is a big man. Still in good shape. Probably could still play, like Victor. But that's great to having those guys around. Yep.
We've got time for one more. Any final question? In which case, we'll wrap up. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys. Great job. Thank you.
All right, hello everybody, and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. We're back again. Tonight is for the All Blacks versus Uruguay. It's looking like it's going to be a good game. Hopefully a high-scoring game. Although I would love Uruguay to, get that 80 points and a try bonus point and knock France out, but I somehow don't see it happening. So, what have we got for today? So we're in Lyon for the game. Obviously, this is the first time that the All Blacks and Uruguay are actually meeting. They have met in a different way with the All Blacks, or rather the New Zealand 15 team playing Uruguay quite a few years ago. I believe it was I think it was 1964, somewhere around there, where they gave them a thumping. So, I mean, obviously, completely different team. So we'll see how they do. Uruguay have been, I'd say, one of the standout tier 2 nations of this World Cup. And I think they've played some really good rugby. So I am excited to see what they can do against, arguably the best team in the world. Obviously not number one, and they've had some issues recently. But they look like they're back to their lethal form against Italy, where it was slightly painful to watch for the Italians. But so, what have we got for you today? Let's have a quick look. Let me just change that. So, going head to head, as I mentioned, first time they've ever met. So, in terms of how many World Cups they've played in and how many games they've played, New Zealand have played in every World Cup, obviously. They've won 3. They've played 59 games, won 51, lost 8, and drawn 0. Coincidentally, of those 8 losses, only one of them has ever come in a pool stage, and it was this World Cup against France, the opening match of the World Cup. But that being said, New Zealand are averaging the highest try rate at the World Cup so far. And through that, I think the highest points rate as well. In terms of Uruguay, this is only their 5th World Cup. They've missed 5 other World Cups before this. They've played 17 matches, won 3. Probably the most famous of their wins coming against Fiji in the last World Cup. But they did produce a good comeback against Namibia in the last round. And won that game as well. They've lost 14 of those 17 games, though, and never got a draw. And as I mentioned, New Zealand have scored 27 tries in just 3 matches. This is the most they've scored in pool stages since 2011. where they scored 36 across 4 games. And their highest during the pool stage is 46 in 2007. That's a hell of a lot of tries across 4 games. They're averaging 9 tries a game already, and so they are looking lethal, which is impressive. Whereas Uruguay have scored, I believe it is 3. Hang on, give me a second. Uruguay have scored. No, they scored 1 against France. Or was it 2 against France? Might have been 2. So Uruguay have actually scored quite a few tries. They're actually doing fairly well. So I do see them maybe getting 1 or 2 tries today. I certainly hope they do. It'll certainly be good for them. But you kind of have to imagine that they are outgunned in this game. New Zealand have got a strong lineup, and we will cut to that soon. But I suppose for me, the referee will certainly be important to this. Wayne Barnes from England, and it is his 108th or 109th game, his 23rd as a referee in a World Cup, and it's the 23rd time he's refereed the All Blacks since 2007, and the 5th time at a Rugby World Cup. So, speaking of the All Blacks, let's cut to our little video about the All Blacks lineup, and I'll see you in a couple of minutes. right, there we go. That is the All Black side in this game tonight. Sorry, we don't have the I suppose the video run through of the Uruguay team, but I will go through it with you quickly now. So at the front row, we've got Matteo Sanguinetti, Herman Kessler, and Diego Arbello. Locking down Ignacio Dotti and Manuel Leindekar. 6, 7, and 8, Manuel Ardeo, who's been a phenomenon in this World Cup. Lucas Bianchi, and Manuel Diana. They make up the back row for Uruguay. Number 9, Santiago Arata, who's been a standout player for Uruguay for a number of years now, and he's having a good World Cup. He's partnering Felipe Echeverri. I think Uruguay are one of 4 teams who have not changed their halfback pairing throughout the World Cup so far. And then onto the rest of the back line, we've got Andres Villaseca and Thomas Inciarte in the centres, and the back 3, Nicolas Freitas, Gaston Mieres, and Rodrigo Silva. Onto the bench for Uruguay, and we have Guillermo Pujadas, Matias Benitez, Ignacio Peculo, Juan Manuel Rodriguez, Santiago Civerta, Augustin Ormachea, Felipe Bachesi, and Juan Manuel Alonso. So a good side, a really good side out for Uruguay. Obviously, they're playing the All Blacks and a good, strong All Black side. So they're going to have to really front up here. I am interested to see how Arata performs against this New Zealand side, and obviously with Cam Roigard being almost, I suppose, preferred now to Finlay Christie in that number 9 jersey, or rather to be the bench number 9 for New Zealand. It'll be an interesting battle between those two. I think Shannon Frizzell and Ardal, that'll be a really important battle as well. Ardal's been arguably Uruguay's standout performer this whole World Cup, with his just ability at the breakdown. And there is Uruguay on the screens at the moment, sporting finally wearing their home kit, the beautiful blue kit. Such a nice top, and hopefully it'll do something for their motivation, or rather it'll inspire them to one hell of a performance. So there are the teams now. We've already had New Zealand's anthem, and we're currently going through Uruguay's anthem. So we're very close to kickoff now, and a game I'm quite excited for. I think Uruguay will certainly offer a lot in this game, and obviously New Zealand really have a job to do here. So I really hope that Uruguay make it difficult for them, and their fans are obviously always great. Hopefully in this first game that they've ever played, these two nations have ever played against each other, that hopefully Uruguay can, put a bit of a scare on the score like they did with France. But this is the first time that Uruguay will have ever faced the All Blacks haka, the first team, not the New Zealand 15, but the All Blacks. This is the first time they will ever have faced this, and you can imagine that will either scare some people, or it will be kind of like a, oh, this is awesome kind of moment. But Uruguay, they're not going home winless from this World Cup, which is great. They have scored 13 tries. They've scored 9 tries in this World Cup, which is already 3 more than the 6 tries they scored in both 2003 and 2019. So they are on the up. They're doing well, and against really difficult opposition like France and Italy. Although after last week's drubbing by the All Blacks, maybe Italy aren't taking this seriously, but I think there'll be a challenge for France. I certainly hope so. But we are almost at kickoff. Just going through the haka now, which if you haven't seen it live, is quite amazing. And it really does get the crowd going. So a lot of fun to watch. But we're almost there. Almost time for game. And it's interesting. It's Cody Taylor leading this one. And I think it might be the first time he's led an All Blacks haka. And that is interesting. That's something new. I quite like that. But yeah, guys, so leave your comments in the chat. We'll certainly get some polls going throughout the game. I know there's one currently about how many tries are going to be scored during the game. Don't forget to vote on that. But also, leave your comments so I can get to them. Let me know who you think the players that will stand out in this game. Who do you think they'll be? And how do you think Uruguay will perform? Chuck it all in the chat and let's get a bit of back and forth going here. But here we go. The haka's over. And the players are getting ready for the game, and I'm really, really keen for this one. I think it's going to be a great game. I think the All Blacks are not going to have it quite as easy as they had it against Italy, funnily enough. But we'll see how we go. I certainly hope that Uruguay can put up a tough fight. It's certainly difficult for them to secure that third place in the pool and getting automatic qualification. Not impossible, just like it's not impossible for them to actually qualify for the quarterfinals, but it is numerically, you'd think, impossible, or rather statistically. But never say never. As much as I want to believe they'll win with 80 points and a try bonus point, I see it as unlikely. So, win probability, well, that tells you everything. 93% for the All Blacks, 4% for Uruguay, and 3% a draw. I think even that's a bit kind to Uruguay. But stranger things have happened. And the teams have taken the field now. They are set to kick off, and it is Uruguay who will take the kickoff. So New Zealand will receive first, and let's have a good one here. Let's see how this goes. Just waiting on oh my god, I keep forgetting his name. Just waiting on Wayne Barnes. Get Al Wayne. Waiting on Wayne Barnes to get us going. Got a really nice view of the stadium here with the spider cam. This is in Lyon, by the way, at the Olympic Stadium. I'm guessing it's the Olympic Stadium. The All Stadium sounds weird, so I'm guessing it's an Olympic Stadium. Right. Wayne Barnes blows the whistle. And Uruguay kick off. They hang it high just inside the New Zealand 22, taken down by Frizzell. They've set the maul. Roygaard has it at the back. He will bring in both Geordie Barrett and Cody Taylor to caterpillar it, and he will clear it. Nice. They're showing respect already, just to settle the game and respect Uruguay. So it'll be Uruguay's throw, and they will immediately get possession. And this is good. This is good from them. They are inside the All Blacks half, just inside the All Blacks 10 actually, or they're on the 10. And it'll be Kessler to feed the line out. They throw to the back, and they've retained it, and it's Diana who takes it. They've set a really good rolling maul here, although it's been brought down. Uruguay still maintaining possession really well. They're in the center of the field at the moment. Arata feeds the big man, Lindekar. Arata again. This time feeds Bianchi. And this is good. This is decent. Oh, and Arata tries a little dart straight through the middle. Makes about 2 meters before he's brought down. And, they're already building phases. It's good to see from Uruguay, and I love their kit. Echeverri feeds his 12, who then feeds Silva. This is good from Uruguay. They are building these phases. Or the ball's stripped, but it's gone backwards. Echeverri feeds the big man Dotti. They are inside the All Blacks 22. Mieres takes it off the awkward step and falls. Echeverry thinks about a kick chip through. And unfortunately here, Inciarte doesn't lose it forwards. It goes sideways, but the All Blacks have got it. Roygaard feeds Mwanga, who then swings it straight to Fainganuku, who kicks. And it's a monster of a kick. It's not gone out. It's inside the Uruguayan 22. And I believe it was Mieres who clears. No, it wasn't. It was Echeverry. Echeverry had tracked back. He clears 2.5 minutes in. And New Zealand now have possession inside the Uruguay half. Cody Taylor throws in. Brazil rises high, takes it. Mwanga takes it flat, straight to Fainganuku, who bounces off the first tackle. He's still on his feet. He's brought down by Inciarte. Roygaard looked to quickly feed this, but he can't. He's swamped as the balls come out through the side. New Zealand have lost possession here. They've been turned over by Uruguay. It's a great pilfer of the ball there, especially given their field position. Really good there from Uruguay. And they truck it up with a forward. And now Arata, again, caterpillar through the forward's legs, and will box kick. Launches it high for his winger to chase. Freitas. Damien McKenzie is safe in the air. He takes it down. Managed to reset. Roygaard feeds Mwanga. Sorry, not Mwanga. It was and Mwanga drops it cold. Arata picks it up. And then the ball's gone forwards. So it'll be a scrum for the first knock-on. Uruguay scrum, almost centre field. Great start from great start from Uruguay. Loving it. Really good. Philip says something isn't right with the sound. Gone very soft. Is that my commentary? Let me have a look at it. Give me a second. Oh. Okay, let me have a look at this quickly. That's strange. It should be fine. Tell me if that helps. Yeah, let me know if that's any better on the sound wise. Hopefully that's a little bit better. There's an All Blacks player getting some treatment already. 4 minutes into this, getting his knee strapped, and it looks like it might be Tyrell Lomax. So scrum to Uruguay. Scrum to Uruguay in the All Blacks half, centre field. Decent attacking platform here. I wonder how they'll set. It's Tyrell Lomax. Lomax is getting some treatment on that knee, and I believe that's the knee that he had the gash on. And I believe he picked it up against South Africa in the last warm-up game. So we are going to take some time here. The knee is finally strapped up. And look at that. Oh, that's a big difference in pack weights. New Zealand 922, Uruguay 858. That is a huge difference in weight in the scrum. And you'd think that New Zealand will look to boss them around with that, but we'll see. We'll certainly see how this goes for Uruguay. Hopefully they can get some quick possession out of this scrum. Hopefully they can just not concede a penalty. So Arata does put the ball in, and it comes out very fast. Arata attacking down the left. Feeds his winger, who is tackled, and it was Freitas, I thought it was. Arata back into the middle to Lindecar. He's stopped well by Lomax. Bit of confusion there. Oh, that's a high tackle there on the number 8, Diana. And Uruguay are moving forwards through Sanguinetti. goes over the top of Frizzell, which is great to see. And then Deanna takes another rumble. He's got himself isolated. And Luke Jacobson is all over that. Frizzell gets the ball back, and it looks like they'll try to run it here. Mwanga swings it down to Anton Leonard-Brown. Leonard-Brown to Mackenzie. Mackenzie out to Fainganuku, who is wrapped up quite well by the fullback, Rodrigo Silva. But New Zealand have maintained possession here. Mwanga tries to chip over the top. Perfect to Will Jordan. Will Jordan is now on his own. He didn't pass on the cross to Mackenzie. And it's a great chop tackle by Freitas. But they are inside Uruguay's 22, about halfway deep. Tupavai. Cam Roygard out to Mwanga. Mwanga out to Ofa Tungafasi. Leonard-Brown, but they will come back, I believe, for a penalty for a high tackle on Uruguay. And I think it was Luke Jacobson, or a neck roll rather, at the ruck. And Uruguay get out of jail. New Zealand were looking dangerous there. Great run from Will Jordan. And I believe Echeverri will do the kicking. Nice boots. It is Echeverri. He will clear the Uruguayan lines. And it was a brilliant tackle from Freitas. Oh, what a little chip over there from Mwanga, and a good long run from Will Jordan, but just didn't have the pace to get outside his man. Uruguay throw to the back. It's overthrown, but it works, but it's gone very sloppy. Oh, and Uruguay playing down this right-hand side. Sorry, left-hand side. Arata feeds his hooker, Kessler. Met well by the opposite man, Cody Taylor. And Arata will set the box kick here as well. Sam Whitelock being a nuisance at the ruck. Oh, and Arata's caught. He's in trouble here. He needs his... his forwards have done well to help him out there, because he was in all types of trouble. The ruck broke down, and so he had to pick it up, and then was caught by all the All Blacks forwards. This is dangerous, but it's good from Uruguay. And Uruguay are just loving playing down this blind side. And the All Blacks have turned it over. They've got the penalty advantage. Mwanga picks it up midfield. He's running. Swings it to Mackenzie. Mackenzie out to Geordie Barrett. Out to Leonard-Brown. Fainganuku's got it. And it looks like he has a chance to go in the... Oh, it's a great track back tackle by Silva. Sam Cane picks it up. This is great. Oh, Roygard goes in, snipes. Roygard goes to the left and scores the first try of the match. And Cam Roygard just cannot stop scoring. Cam Roygard cannot stop scoring for this All Black side. And I think that is his fourth. Oh, they are reviewing it. They are going to the review, though. I haven't heard what the referee's call was. Why it's a review. Jojo Rabbit, hi from Sydney. What's up, mate? How are you feeling about the Aussies? It's a hell of an ask for Fiji to lose with no points. Cam Roygard, and that's going to be called lost forward. And it is an intervention, a flying fist to the ball of number 1, Sanguinetti. I think he's done enough there. Yeah, 100%. That's loss of control. Yeah, and it will be no try. What a cover tackle, or rather cover swinging arm from Sanguinetti. Matteo Sanguinetti has saved the first try. What a legend. Love that. So, Cam Roygard will not get his 4th try of the competition. And yeah, if one thing characterizes Uruguay during this World Cup is that they refuse to lie down. I think, as they said, that they didn't want to come here to be whipping boys. They've really, really put their hands up and be like, we're here. And there's the first change of the game already. Fletcher Newell on for Tyrone Lomax, who's clearly that knee is just not good. Echeverry with a wobbly drop goal to restart the game, straight to Lester Ganuku, who runs straight into traffic because he's huge. Roygaard feeds Newell, Newman, Damien McKenzie puts. Here's that. Cody Taylor. Roygaard feeds McKenzie again, off to Leonard Brown. Sorry, Moanga. Moanga gets wrapped up in the tackle. Roygaard recycles to Shannon Frizzell, who's met well in the tackle by big man Ignacio Dotti. Jordy Barrett out and Cody Taylor just bounces straight off him. And now Arata's dancing around, hoping not to get hit. Does eventually get hit by, it was Echeverry. Does eventually get hit by Shannon Frizzell. Arata feeds Kessler. They're now just trying to set a platform so that they can clear their lines. And 10 minutes of 0-0, I'd be happy with that so far. Uruguay have played well. They're playing well. And then Sanguinetti trucks it up a little bit. And here we go. Arata will now set the kick. Arata will clear, does so, but it's in field, and it's gone straight to Damien McKenzie, who's going to run it back. Of course he is. And decides not to kick, takes on the Uruguayan line, but is met well and tackled by Bianchi. Roygaard feeds Sam Kane. Sam Kane decides to take on the line instead of pass to Moanga. Roygaard again, this time to Moanga. Moanga out the back to McKenzie. McKenzie with a long ball to Anton Leonard-Brown. Leonard-Brown takes on the line, gets his hands free and passes to Jordy Barrett, who then passes to Luke Jacobson. Thinks about the offload, doesn't go for it. Uruguay almost turning it over there. McKenzie, Tongafasi, who throws a wild pass behind Moanga. Moanga does go back and pick it up, takes on the line. This is great defense here from Uruguay. They are not letting them go forwards. Tuangafasi takes on the line, met by two men. It's a knock-on from New Zealand, and Uruguay pilfer it, and they've now got the ball. They've got the advantage, and they're going to keep playing. Arata feeds his big men. Midfield. Shannon Frizzell takes him down. Arata to Echeverry. Echeverry out the back to Freitas. Sorry, not Freitas, it's Nieres, who goes around, and he's gone. Whitelock can't get him. Pass inside. This is... and the man who is in the Uruguay 22 is smacked from behind by Cody Taylor, who then knocks it, and then he knocks it on. And now the All Blacks have changed immediately to counter-attack. Roygaard decides, no, I'm going to kick this. Kicks it straight into a Uruguayan man. And this is amazing from Uruguay. Freitas feeds Ardao. If anyone deserves a try, he might have got there. Ardao might have scored first. And God, does anyone deserve it more than him? And if they've scored first, I'm going to be so happy. I have a feeling he's in touch. But God, I hope. That was brilliant from Uruguay. That was stunning from Uruguay. Please be in. No, he's out. Yeah, he's out. Unfortunately, Ardao is out. So it'll be no try, unfortunately. But what a period of play from Uruguay. Wow. And this is just an amazing break from Mieres. He just goes around Ganuku, around Sam Whitelock, and then feeds inside. The All Blacks have gone long to the back, and they're looking to set a platform to clear here. And this is what I mean. Uruguay have come to play. Moanga clears. This is just brilliant from Uruguay. I love it. Absolutely. Love it. These guys are here to play, and they are playing well. Uruguay throw to the front. It is stolen by the All Blacks. Cody Taylor throws it infield to Will Jordan, who decides he's going to kick, and does fine touch inside the Uruguayan half. And just what a start! What a start for the Uruguayan team. They are playing really well. Really enjoying themselves in this game, and as they should. Why just throw everything at them? So it will be ball to the middle, not forwards, or rather knocked down by the All Blacks, but not forward, and reclaimed by Uruguay. They launch a high ball midfield. Mackenzie rises high to take it well. Fainganuku takes it off the side and gets over the 50-meter line. Back to Mackenzie. Mackenzie tries to chip over the top. It does hit a Uruguayan person. Echeverry tries to chip over the top. It has worked, kind of. Will Jordan picks it up. Roygaard. It's a knock on from Uruguay. Roygaard feeds Tupavai. And I think the first penalty of the game. The first penalty of the game conceded by big man Doty, I believe it is. Or it might be Lindecker. I can't tell which one's which because they're both so tall. So it'll be Geordie Barrett looking to get deep into Uruguay's half here. 15 minutes into the game, would you expect it to be 0-0? It could have been 7-0 one way. It could have been 7-0 the other way. So, I mean, you can't really ask for... That's not a great touch finder from Geordie Barrett. I suppose he wasn't working with much... certainly wasn't working with much rather of an angle. But this has been a frenetic start. So, Cody Taylor will feed the line out. He throws to the back, way over the top. And Geordie Barrett throws it back inside to Will Jordan, who's met well by the Uruguayan defensive line. Cam Roygaard now picks it off the back and feeds Cody Taylor, who smacks into the line, of course. Anyway, forward. Tonga Farsi met well by Kessler and I believe Sanguinetti. Sam Whitelock, the man on his 150th cap for the All Blacks. Roygaard, Tonga Farsi, made a couple of meters there. Then Luke Jacobson picks it up off the floor, makes a good break and through a handoff. Sam Kane up to the 5-meter line. Roygaard picks it up, has to go in himself. Sam Kane feeds Tupavai. New Zealand looking to get it done with forwards, but they're actually out the back now. And Damien McKenzie will have a fairly easy run in, and there is the first try to Damien McKenzie. But they're checking something. And it looks like there might be another try struck off for a penalisable offence. And it is Richie Mo'unga with not his second neck roll, but another try will be scratched off because of a neck roll. And it's Richie Mo'unga this time, and Uruguay withstand another one. And they've got, and it's still 0-0, and they've got to get out of jail free, and I love it. Danny Lessing, hi, I'm from Welkom in the Free State. From Welkom, and then Paul Perel from Port Elizabeth, Ibeja. Paul, I went to Rhodes, Grahamstown, so I was in PE occasionally. I lived in South Africa for 14 years. So, Uruguay clear their lines. And this is just a gutsy, the only way I can describe this Uruguay team in this World Cup is just gutsy as hell. And they throw it, this is a clean line out this time. Arata out the back to Echeverry. Sorry, no, it was Freitas. Freitas feeds Ardal, who, as a number 6, is pretty small, but God, he's good. Oh, and it's lost forward at the ruck. Clumsy handling, but the All Blacks have it back. Whitelock plays Geordie Barrett. Geordie Barrett swings it wide to Moanga, looking to make amends for his neck roll. Feeds to Bavai. They're into the 22. And Shannon Frizzell's burst through, but Arata has got him. They're almost up to the 5-meter line here. Roygard feeds Moanga, who feeds Newell, who feeds Leonard Brown, out to Mackenzie. Mackenzie thinks about passing, doesn't, and is tackled. Roygard, the ball squirts out the side. Roygard picks it up. Roygard's darted through. He's broken through about 3 tackles. He's 2 meters short. I think Ardow's over that, but he's been penalised. And New Zealand have the penalty. And that is, there's a fine margins, because I would argue that he was on his feet there. Now, do New Zealand call the scrum? I was going to say, do they take the 3 points? But come on, it's New Zealand. But, I mean, this Uruguay side, yes, New Zealand are letting themselves down by getting themselves penalised all the time. But Melisela, hi from Pretoria. What's up? And Netanya in Israel, Sam Washkansky. Well, welcome to the stream, guys. Good to have you here. We are witnessing a just gutsy defense from Uruguay. And actually, they're showing quite a lot on attack as well. And a really pleasant game to watch. New Zealand keep shooting themselves in the foot. They've scratched off 2 of their own tries through 2 neck rolls. And I hope Uruguay can keep it up. If they can play this game for 80 minutes, well, certainly will make getting the bonus point for New Zealand hard. Scrum goes straight down, so it'll be reset. And that's a big man. Arbello is a big man with a big beard. Love it. So Wayne Barnes is resetting the scrum, and Will Jordan hanging right on the touchline here. He's got Geordie Barrett with him on the right-hand side. Moanga has Mackenzie right behind him. They're both right behind the scrum, so they can essentially play anyway. And this is the best attacking position you can have in rugby, essentially. If it comes out, New Zealand should score. New Zealand get the penalty for, I believe it was Sanguinetti buckling. They go wide. Mackenzie takes on the line. And this time, Mackenzie will score. And Mackenzie goes over for the All Blacks' first try. Set up by Moanga. And, 19 minutes and 48 seconds into the match. You didn't think it would take that long for the All Blacks to score, but it has. And it was good. It was Roygard to Moanga. Moanga feeds Mackenzie. Mackenzie beats the tackle of Freitas and rides the tackle of, I think it was Silva, to go over. And there are a couple of players in this New Zealand side who are playing for maybe not starting positions, but a shirt in that 23. And Mackenzie is certainly one of them. The way he has played, the time he's got, he is just sticking his arm up as if he's been struck by lightning and can't put it down. And I think New Zealand are far more dangerous as a unit when he's playing. Hi guys, it's Henk from Ball. Hello Henk. How you doing? Yeah, so 7-0 to the mighty All Blacks. But after 21 minutes, you would absolutely think that they'd be further ahead by now. But this Uruguay was relentless in their defense. And yeah, it's a missed tackle. It's not like it was a particularly special and ingenuitive move. As I was saying, it was a 2v2, and it was just one missed tackle. So nothing majorly special from the All Blacks here. So Echeverry will kick off again, and he kicks it just inside the All Blacks 22. I can see what they're trying to do with that. Lindekar takes down Tupavai. All Blacks trying to swing it here, and Sam Whitelock doesn't make it out of the 22 just yet. Roygard feeds Damien McKenzie, who decides to clear and finds a decent touch just about halfway, literally just into the Uruguayan half. So Uruguay will have the line out just inside their own half, and they will. I imagine they'll look to keep it fairly tight. I don't think they'll try and use too much width, but we'll see what their kind of expansive players. They do take it off the top, but it's not the clearest. Arata feeds his big man in Diego Arbelo. And here we go, the other prop. Freitas, quick hands, but it's been lost backwards, but it's lost backwards by the hooker Kessler, but turned over. Mwanga feeds Mackenzie, midfield now, and he decides to kick. Chips it over the top of Mieres, who decides to run it back in field, and oh no, it's been dropped by Echeverri right in front of his own poles. And it will be another attacking scrum to New Zealand in more or less the same position as the last one they've just scored off. It wasn't the greatest of passes, but international fly half should pick that up. But we do know, we do know that it's hot, it's sticky in France. The ball is slippery, but you kind of feel he needs to do better than that. Rule of Lindica, what happened to Lomax? I think it's his knee. He got some early strapping on it. I'm guessing from that gash he picked up in the warm-up game against South Africa. And he was subbed quite early, I believe, on like the 10th minute. Vincent Finnis from Namibia. What's up, man? How you doing, mate? Good to have you on the channel, or rather in the chat. Remember to chuck in those comments, guys, about who you think is going to do really well in this game, both Uruguay and New Zealand. Mwanga takes on the line, pretty much the same as Mackenzie, straight through down that right hand side, and kind of walks through, and Mwanga gets a try. And again, it's just the hardest place on the field to defend when you've got a scrum against you, and just there's not much they could have done there. It was good from Geordie Barrett. He clears out about 3 people in that attack. Just 3 people gravitate towards him. He feeds it out the back to Mwanga. Mwanga runs round and easily in. And straight around Freitas. Easy try there for the All Blacks. And I think this is how they're going to do it. With just simple, basic attacking rugby. It's all they need to do. Because they're more flair kind of stuff. Trying to play it out of everywhere. That's certainly not provided them as much. TMO has been brilliant in this match. As soon as there's an issue, they call it out. No longer 30-minute checks. We need more of this. Yeah, Simeon, you're not wrong. They've certainly shown, 2, 3 tries two tries they scored that should have been scratched off because of things, and then one other one. So Mwanga, flirting with that right hand upright, does convert the try to take it to 14-0. But again, this is not as convincing as I thought it would be. Although I did know that Uruguay would put up one hell of a fight. 172 people. What's up, guys? How are you all doing? Shoot a message in the chat. And let's get a good poll going here. What do you think in multiples of 10? What do you think the final score will be? So New Zealand have taken the clearance, the restart, this time outside of their 22. So it's clearly a tactic by Uruguay. They're trying to keep New Zealand pinned near their 22. Roygaard will clear. He's kicked that almost directly straight up, but he's reclaimed his kick, although there's been some blocking from, I think, Tuangafasi, and Roygaard has been penalised. Or rather, no, he hasn't been penalised, but there's been an offside. It's, I think, Tuangafasi who's been penalised for offside. So if Scotland beat Ireland and Irish get bonus point, then by Bomb Squad, can some deal be done? Porter. As much as there's, I suppose that'd be entertaining, that would be match fixing. So unlikely. So Uruguay kick to the corner, and it's a very good kick. They just need a clean line out and a good rolling maul. 27 minutes in, Uruguay have probably their second best chance of scoring because they have been very, very close already. They just need to fix their line out. Their line out has been sloppy, should we say? A bit sloppy, and also just well challenged by the All Blacks. So they throw it into the back, taken in well by what's his name again? Lindecker. The All Blacks are doing well to shepherd it. It's not going forwards, and now it's going a bit back and to the sideline. They will have to use this. Arata will take it out the back. He does so and feeds his number 12, Villaseca, the captain on the day. Oh, and it's been was thought to be turned over, but it's been given away as a penalty, and it was Fainganuku who's been penalised here. So you'd imagine Uruguay might go for the line out again, or they'll take the 3 points. Nope, they're going to go for the line out, and I like that from Uruguay. I think if they can score a try against the All Blacks, that'll mean a hell of a lot to them, and also it'll put some real fight and spice into this game, because they're not making it easy for the All Blacks. So Kessler will have another opportunity to set the line out, and set the rolling maul. They go to the front this time through big man Ignacio Dotti, or Ardal breaks off the side and throws it way, way too hard. But it looks like there might have been a hand in this, and the might be from Luke Jacobson, unintentional. Yes, it's just a knock on. It's not intentional. He was wrapping for the tackle. It wasn't, but it'll be a scrum, and Uruguay will get another shot at this. So let's hope that they can get something over the line here. I certainly would love Uruguay to score at least one try in this match. Excuse me. How about 20-9 already? And so Uruguay, how are they going to look to set this? Get the ball out as quickly as they can to nullify that huge deficit of weight in the scrum. I think it's about 70, 65 kgs difference. Arata will be wanting to play this as quickly as possible. Scrum set. Straight down, both front rows straight down. They'll reset the scrum. We're about to go into the minute 30. There we go. We've crossed over into minute 30 now. It's 14-0. I think Uruguay will be proud with this score. They'll be really happy considering that they could have scored 7 points of their own, and they're in a very good attacking position now. They'll want to stay in this position. They'll really want to keep New Zealand here. First of all, New Zealand can't score. Well, they're unlikely to score from here, but the pressure, they want to build this pressure, keep it building. Let's hope this scrum is a completed scrum. I'd say there's early pushing there from New Zealand. It's come out quickly, but it's been knocked on in the midfield. I would argue that there's definitely been an early... Oh, no, it's been knocked on by New Zealand. I don't know how that happened. Don't know what the ref's seen there, but let's see. It goes in. It's picked up very quickly by the number 8. Oh, it's Cam Roigard who's knocked it on. Yeah, it's Cam Roigard who's knocked it on. I would argue that that's an intentional, because that wasn't a wrap. I'd say that's a penalty. So the referee is allowing the TMO to check that knock on from Cam Roigard. I think the captain of Uruguay's got a point here. If that was in another position, a try scoring position, that would be a yellow, potentially a red card. So I think there might it's worth a penalty, and I love that. So Uruguay will have another go at it. Uruguay will feed their scrum again through Arata. Picked up straight away at the back by Diana, who flings it way too hard into his man, and it's been lost forward again. Moanga tries a chip and chase. Kicked it. It's a bit of a strange kick there from Moanga. He's kicked it out. But just again, Diana was flung that way too hard into the on-running captain Villaseca, who knocks it on straight away. And with that running line, he probably would have broken through. Just needed to take that ball. But Kessler will throw into the line out again. It's almost turned. Well, it's disrupted by the All Blacks, and it's gone over the line out. And they've claimed it. Roygaard fed Moanga. Moanga to Geordie Barrett. To Mackenzie. Mackenzie kicks forward. He's chasing his own kick, and he keeps it in. Flings it inside to Will Jordan. And Will Jordan will go under the sticks. And Damien McKenzie is just, he's something else. I don't know how he does stuff like that. He's quite incredible. So the All Blacks do score their third try. Mitchell from Namibia saying Uruguay need to kick for the posts. Get some points on the board. And I don't see the point. I don't really see the point in that. They know they're not going to win this game with oh, that is close. That is very close on the touchline with Damien McKenzie's foot, but it is awarded and the try will stand. But just wizardry from Damien McKenzie here. Oh, God. There are very few players in international rugby that can do something like that. I don't think in Duna. I don't think there's any point in Uruguay going for the poles. They want the tries, and good on them for doing that. Or Mitchell rather. 100 coming up for the All Blacks. No, I don't think so. I think they'll score tries like that, but I don't see this. I think Uruguay will keep this to. I hope they can keep it below 50, but we'll see. It's almost half time. So Uruguay kickoff. Tupavai rises to claim it and is not held in the tackle, so he goes again. Ardal almost over the ball there as the Tonga Fassi feeds Shannon Frizzell. Frizzell feeds Fletcher Newell. Ardal's over it, and he's got it. God, he's fast. He is so quick. And Uruguay get the penalty. It's better than losing the game with 0. Yeah, look, I agree with you in some way, but you're not going to kick for the poles if you are just if it's not going to make a difference. I don't blame them for going for 0. Oh, and Echeverry has missed touch, and that's just it's a coach killer. I get what he's going for. Get as close to that touch line as possible, that 5-meter line. That's unfortunate. And they're just showing that master stroke from Damien McKenzie over and over again. And also not a great tackle from Freitas, or attempted tackle rather, on Will Jordan there. He certainly could have done better. Oh, it's just so good. This is poetry in motion. So New Zealand will have a feed to the scrum. And Roygaard will feed their scrum just outside their own 10-meter line, I believe. The referee's telling them to keep it high. Advantage to New Zealand here for the scrum buckling. Out to Moanga. Moanga decides to take on the line. He feeds it. It pops it off the ground to Sam Kane. They're up to the 10-meter line of Uruguay this time. Oh, and it's a beautiful pickup off the floor from Will Jordan. Will Jordan chasing his own kick. Arata gets back well. He has taken the ball over his own try line, so it'll be a 5-meter scrum. But what a pickup off the floor from Will Jordan. And it's just these skills that you can't teach. Oh, Arata does so well here to beat Will Jordan to the ball. Because Will Jordan was there for all money if it was someone slightly slower than Arata. Uruguay going to be lucky to get that 0. Bloody hell. Nah, look, Uruguay have been impressive this World Cup. They played really well, and they're playing well in this game too. I think Uruguay are certainly not like Namibia. They're not like Portugal, who have really struggled in this World Cup. Uruguay have put together moments of brilliance, and they played really well against Italy in that first half. Sadly, they fell away, and they played very well in the second half against Namibia. I don't think they are there to make up the numbers. I think they played very well, and they're playing well in this game too. Roygaard looking for it. It comes off out the back of the scrum from Jacobson. Roygaard will take on the line and will score. And that's unfortunate. That is the bonus point. So as long as the All Blacks keep it here or keep going, they are qualified. They are officially in the quarterfinals. 2 minutes left of the half, and that is Cam Roygaard's first. Finally, he scored a try. It's his first try of the night. And it's a good step from Roygaard. Freitas with a terrible missed tackle. Terrible missed tackle from Freitas, and Roygaard goes over. Dude, you know, I worked at a wine exporting company where we take wines to farms. And he gets labeled seller's French wine. Lol. That's quite funny. Nah, that's unfortunate. But look at this game in context. Uruguay are playing so much better than Italy played last week against the All Blacks. And, you know, Uruguay almost scored a try. So they're playing well. This is just what the All Blacks can do to you. One missed tackle every now and then, and they'll score. Richie Mongo cannot convert this one. Not a great kick from him out on the right-hand side, but it is 26-0 to the All Blacks. And this will probably be the last passage of this first half. Just looking on the clock now, it is about 30 seconds left of this half. So Echeverri will look to repeat his last kickoff and get it just outside the All Blacks 22. And it looks like he's done so well. Oh, and it's badly claimed by Tupavai in the air, knocked backwards. So New Zealand do clear it up. And Sam Whitelock off Roygaard's pass, trucks it up. Roygaard out the back to a charging Cody Taylor, but is brought down well by Arata. Roygaard feeds Damien McKenzie, who decides to clear, but not out. He doesn't kick out. Echeverri with a good take in the air. And he's fended off Moanga. He's then thrown it out the back to Freitas, who's Arata out the back of the ruck. Feeds the big man, and I believe number 8, Diana. Freitas will go again to the blind this time. And make a few meters through for Cam, going through for Cam Roygaard. Roygaard tries to get over Freitas to turn it over, doesn't manage so. Arata feeds us to get big man Diana again. Fletcher Newell making an absolute nuisance of himself on the floor, but the ref hasn't seen it. Big man Arbelo takes on the line through Whitelock. Arata decides to go back to the left. Uruguay just need to retain the ball here. And it was Silva who was met hard by Tupavai. Shannon Frizzell tries to get over it, but Inciati takes him off the ball. And there's a knock-on to end the first half. 26-0 from at the moment. Not terrible, honestly. Like, I think Uruguay are actually playing decent rugby. And they're not going to be unhappy with this scoreline, although it should be smaller. It's purely these tries have come from missed tackles in very dangerous positions. But Uruguay are playing well. New Zealand, after the 20-minute mark, they've started being lethal. But in that first 20 minutes, just kind of throwing their own tries away with needless penalties. But a really, really entertaining first half of rugby here. And looking forward to the second half. I think Uruguay, I hope they don't fall off, and really just I hope the dam wall doesn't burst. New Zealand obviously will look to push that crack now and really make it explode. I hope Uruguay can hang on, and with the way they've been playing, hopefully get some tries out of it. They've shown a lot of ingenuity, and obviously that build up to that near Ardao try was just lovely. It was really good to see. Mursa Bars, bye, work tomorrow. Yep, cheers, mate. Yeah, Induna, you're not wrong. So half time at the moment. We'll check back with you in about 10, 15 minutes. And see you then, guys. So enjoy the break. See you.
Hello everybody, Stevie P here from Forever Sports, and I'm here to tell you about BOYLESPORTS, the official betting partner of Forever Sports. Across all of our channels, they are one of the leading betting companies in the world and have recently launched in South Africa with an amazing offering. You can get a 1,000 Rand welcome offer. For the rugby, they are giving you 25% payout boost up to 2,000 Rand on the Springboks winning the World Cup, as well as an extra 50 Rand bet when you stake 250 more on rugby during the Rugby World Cup. It is your one-stop betting shop. That is BOYLESPORTS. Come and join us in the community. Check the links in the description to sign up, get yourself an account, and make sure that you are winning big with BOYLESPORTS.
Hello and welcome to Forever Sports. My name is Reese. I'll be talking to you a little bit today about one of our channel partners, BITDEFENDER. BITDEFENDER is a global leader in cyber security. BITDEFENDER is committed to defending people all around the globe against cyber attacks, as well as to transform people's digital experiences. In the next 6 months, Forever Sports will be covering major tournaments such as the Rugby Championship, the Premier League, the remainder of the Formula 1 season, as well as embarking on the biggest Rugby World Cup YouTube campaign ever. To ensure that these are all a success, it is imperative that the Forever Sports channels and platforms remain uncompromised. And with BITDEFENDER, we can be assured that our cybersecurity needs are being taken care of. To read more on BITDEFENDER, please be sure to check the links in the description of our video. Once again, thank you very much to our partner, BITDEFENDER, for joining the channel. I've been...
Hello everybody, Stevie P here from Forever Sports, and I'm here to tell you about BOYLESPORTS, the official betting partner of Forever Sports. Across all of our channels, they are one of the leading betting companies in the world and have recently launched in South Africa with an amazing offering. You can get a 1,000 Rand welcome offer. For the rugby, they are giving you 25% payout boost up to 2,000 Rand on the Springboks winning the World Cup, as well as an extra 50 Rand bet when you stake 250 more on rugby during the Rugby World Cup. It is your one-stop betting shop. That is BOYLESPORTS. Come and join us in the community. Check the links in the description to sign up, get yourself an account, and make sure that you are winning big with BOYLESPORTS.
All right, and we are back for the second half of the game. If there have been any changes, I will let you know once we get going. Damien McKenzie will be restarting the game. In what has been an exciting first half, a lot happened. I think New Zealand will be disappointed with their conversion rate, but it wasn't as good as usual because they kept conceding penalties and built up for their tries. So we're about to kick off now, and what we do? Damien McKenzie decides to keep it short. short, but it is well taken in by Villaseca. Villaseca, 13? Yep, Villaseca. Arata feeds his number 8, Diana, who takes it in. Arata will feed again, and this time will feed his fly half Echeverry, who decides to kick downfield. And Damien McKenzie, who is still playing at 15. Okay, so there's I don't think there have been any changes so far. Damien McKenzie decides to go around the long route and then eventually takes on the line. Shannon Frizzell feeds Chupa Vai, who crashes into the line. And it's an advantage to the All Blacks on halfway. Roygard feeds Moanga. Moanga tries the cross kick to Geordie Barrett, who cuts back in field, and he is disrupted. The ball goes up and forwards, so he'll come back for the penalty. And Geordie Barrett is not happy. Geordie Barrett will kick for the line. Right from halfway, so let's see how much distance he can need off it. It's a decent kick. It is inside it's fairly deep. I'd say it's about halfway between the 22 and the try line. Maybe not quite, but still. A very good attacking line out here for the All Blacks. Cody Taylor will throw. And he throws to Tupavai in the middle. The All Blacks set the not scrum, the maul. They do have to bring it out though because it's not moving. Roygard feeds Geordie Barrett. Geordie Barrett decides not to pass and goes into the tackle, or rather into the tackle, I guess. And it's sloppy and it's been turned over by Uruguay. Bianchi with a great turnover there, and Freitas decides to go for a little bit of a run. Arata feeds Echeverry. Echeverry tries the cross kick. He's turned Fainganuku, but it's too far. Oh, they might look at that. It looks like Mieres slapped it back into Fainganuku, and it might be Uruguay's line out. And it is. It's Uruguay's line out. So, clever play there from Mieres. Very clever play there from Mieres. Uruguay throw to the front, although it's got completely missed and it's gone to the back to Fletcher Newell. Roygard feeds off of Tuangafasi. Roygard again goes out the back to Mwanga Barrett. And then Kane attacks the line. They are almost up to the Uruguay 22. Roygard to Mwanga. Mwanga to Leonard Brown. Steps back in and attacks the line. They are now over the 22. And Fainganuku picks up and fights through a couple of tackles. Roygard is going to feed, I think. No. Decides to pick up and go, but it is a penalty to the All Blacks. And I think they'll set the line out here simply and try and maul Uruguay over their own try line. Where did that penalty come from? And I believe it was Arata just fiddling with the ball on the ground when he had no right to. So Cody Taylor will throw. They go to the back, I guess, to Chupavai. They've set the maul well. It's been really well defended, though, by Uruguay. Roygard has to take it out. Passes to Barrett, who attacks the line. Roygard feeds Fletcher Newell. Roygard again to Chupavai. And that might be called for crossing, although he's hit. Will Jordan feeds Lester Fainganuku. Roygard again off the back, and it's to Fletcher Newell, who is straight through, and he crashes over the try line for the All Blacks' first try of this second half. And it is replacement Fletcher Newell, who replaced Tyrell Lomax about 10-ish minutes into that first half. So he'll be feeling fairly good about himself. It was a good tackle from Mieres on Leicester Fainganuku, but it was just not. It was a bad missed tackle from Sanguinetti on Fletcher Newell that allowed him to go straight over. And Uruguay will be frustrated with themselves for that because they just, these one-off tackles that they keep missing, they're costing them a lot of points. And it looks like Tamaiti Williams and, so the whole front row has changed now. Both Takiaho and Williams have come on to replace Cody Taylor and Tuanga Fasi. 45 minutes in. And let's see, will Uruguay do the same, or will they try and will they try and hold on for a little bit longer? Moanga lines up the kick and misses. It's off the poles. That wasn't a hard kick from Moanga. I wonder if they'll get old D-Mac doing some kicks. But not good defense there from Uruguay. And they'll be frustrated with themselves because they should be defending better than that. So Uruguay will restart the match through Echeverri, and they are just constantly peppering. Oh, and it's out on the full. Oh, and they're just not okay. So there's been a change for Uruguay. Rodriguez has come on to replace Dotti in the lock pairing. I do really like Uruguay's kit. I'm not gonna lie, it's really nice. There are some really nice kits in this World Cup, and the majority of them are the minnows. Portugal's kit is cool, the green one, the green and white. Romania's kit, really cool. I love Namibia's kit. I love Chile's kit. Uruguay, both their kits are pretty cool. There's some really, really nice kits in this World Cup. Just really enjoying them, enjoying watching these tier 2 teams. Some of them have stood up really well. Some of them have fallen off, which shows World Rugby what they need to do. And there's a good statistic for you. Gain line success, 31 times from the All Blacks, 18 from Uruguay. Scrum goes, Uruguay, Roygaard feeds Moanga. Moanga feeds Mackenzie. Mackenzie takes on the line. And then he feeds inside to Leonard Brown. Leonard Brown out to Will Jordan, who is dragged down by Echeverri. Roygaard to Shannon Frizzell. They're up to the 5 meter line. Roygaard again. Out to Moanga. Moanga out to Takiaho. And I think they're playing an advantage. Roygaard feeds Moanga to Will Jordan over the top to Lester Fainganuku, who strolls in. Will they look to check if that's forward? That is my question. And this is the same thing that happened with Uruguay against Italy. They fell off hard in the second half. And Damien McKenzie is just having a field day in this match. Offloading out the tackle. Beautiful pass from Will Jordan out to Lester Fainganuku. But you can just see that Uruguay is getting far, far too tight. I mean, Lester Fainganuku had no one on him. I mean, he had one winger defending about 5 players. And it's just the speed that New Zealand are moving the ball from their own half into the Uruguay half. And just, they're dominating the speed of this game. And this now, sadly, could now start to build into a blowout score. And Uruguay have just fallen away again in this second half, as they did against Italy. Moanga is on target for this kick. Make the game 38-0, 50 minutes in, shall we say. And you can imagine the frustration from the Uruguayan players. It must be frustrating, but they have to stick to it, and they can't. So a change at fly half. Bechesi has come on. Echeverri is off. Kicks and it immediately kicks off. Sam Kane takes it, but then throws it forward. almost. And Uruguay have managed to recover. But there is a double knock-on, and it will be a Uruguay scrum on about New Zealand's 10-metre line. Ten minutes into the second half, in Uruguay, you know that they haven't come out of this of the sheds exactly firing, I wouldn't say. Obviously, this game holding very high significance for the All Blacks because of Sam Whitelock and his 150th test. He surpassed both Richie McCaw and Jason Leonard. I believe it was for both for all-time appearance records in World Cups as well, with his 23rd game, the most capped Rugby World Cup player of all time. And New Zealand absolutely slaughter the scrum of Uruguay. Moanga feeds Leonard Brown, who then pops inside out of the tackle. Jordie Barrett shrugs off one, takes on three, and brings them up to halfway. Roygaard feeds Supervai. McKenzie out the back to Will Jordan. Will Jordan takes on the line, breaks a tackle, then passes off to Williams. Lester Fainganuku is through one, brought down in the end by Freitas. And again, okay, so McKenzie feeds Jordie Barrett. Jordie Barrett feeds, I can't remember his name, Jacobson. And now Roygaard has to take it in, and they're on the 5-metre line. Almost turned over by Uruguay, but New Zealand do have it back. Kane has it at the back, and he will feed to Takiaho, brought down well by Diana. Roygaard picks up, takes it out, and has to. There's a player right in his way, so he has to go in again. It's had to take a lot of contact today, Roygaard. New Zealand have maintained possession. Fainganuku passes off to Tokiaho, makes some good ground. Fainganuku picks up again. He's met well, and he had to be. But they're within 4 meters now. Tokiaho off the back. And he managed to offload in the tackle. Fletcher Newell looking for a second, can't get there. They pass out. D-Mac is over for another one. Damien McKenzie dives over for his second try of the game. And as you can now see, Damien McKenzie is thoroughly into this match. And that will make it 43-0 with the kick to come. And yeah, that all came from just a totally dominant scrum from the All Blacks, stealing the ball, pushing Uruguay off their own ball. And to be fair, Tamati Williams, the reserve prop, came on and showed great pace and hands and really got them on the front foot. And Arata just stands off too long and McKenzie dives over. And so now Damien McKenzie is playing for a hat trick. And this is now starting to become a bit of a cricket score, sadly. Look, Uruguay have to find a way to claw their way back into this game in terms of just getting it under control. I just don't think it's possible. So there has been a ring of substitutions from New Zealand. Both Jordie Barrett and I believe it was Shannon Frizzell have come off. So I think that means Beauden Barrett has come on. Interesting. How are they doing this then? Beauden has played 13. Who have they put into the centres then? And also Ethan Blackadder has come on. But I'm just now curious, who the hell has gone into the centres? Is it Beauden? Or is McKenzie in the centres? Interesting. I want to see who's playing 12. So 45-0. There it is. And it's just a simple, easy try for McKenzie. Just shows the ball straight over and then darts straight over the line. But this could be a total new combination here from the All Blacks. So let's see how they're deciding to play this. Finley Christie is also on, so he's replaced Roygaard, and it's Caleb Clark who's come on. So New Zealand cleared their line off the kickoff, and Bachesi decides to kick high. Jordan takes it well, feeds Mackenzie. Mackenzie feeds Moanga. Moanga to to Fainganuku, who kicks and has kicked it way too long and has kicked it dead. So they will come all the way back inside the 22 of the All Blacks for a Uruguayan scrum, I believe. There's Ethan Blackadder with his long hair. Is this his first cap? I don't think so. It might be. And then there's Finley Christie with his very noticeable hair. So it will be a feed to the scrum for Uruguay, and hopefully they can maintain possession through this one and not get absolutely monstered like they did last time. They've moved Ardao to the 8th man position. This is because Civetta has come on for Diana. So Ardao is now at number 8. And they get the ball very quickly out their scrum. Oh, and he's hit really hard in the centers. Was the captain? They've been forced backwards over their own line, but they've pushed their way forwards, which is good. Number 19, so that's Rodriguez, takes on the line. Arata feeds his big prop, and Uruguay trying to play with some width here, and that is Bianchi. Arata clears up the ruck, passes it out to his big prop to Bishesi. Arata will feed again. They're midfield at the moment. And there's Bishesi again. He feeds Silva. Oh, and it's a big front up tackle there from the All Blacks. Uruguay have done well to maintain possession here. There is big lock forward Manuel Lindecar. Oh, and it's a big hit from Samisoni Takiaho. Uruguay have made... No, Uruguay are going to lose possession here. Roygaard picks it up. Moanga? No, Fainganuku decides to just keep running and goes through 2 men. Takiaho feeds Mackenzie. Oof, and Uruguay have had to pick it up off a knock-on. And now they've got the ball again. Sanguinetti feeds out to the right-hand side, the blind side. Arata. Oh, and that tackles missed count is just piling up for Uruguay. 35 missed tackles. Arata feeds Bashezi, who feeds what's his name? Mieres. And Uruguay are just looking a bit standoffish. They're a bit stop-start, even in the line. Even Arata is kind of walking gingerly. They're trying some different things. There's definitely a knock on that. Oh, there's a penalty to Uruguay, and there's a man down. They are checking something. I think there was some head collision, but it was unintentional from both players. I think the penalty is for obstruction. But we'll see what the TMO and the rest are saying. Yeah, no, I mean, it was an unfortunate collision. I don't think either player intended that or knew that was going to come. So it'll be a penalty and nothing more. Obviously, don't forget to like and subscribe for the stream. And just remember that we are streaming every single game, or rather commentating on every single game throughout the World Cup. Still a hell of a lot more to go, although we are past the halfway mark at this point, I'm pretty sure. So do like and subscribe, and then also join the channel as, what was it? Not a subscriber. Is it a subscriber? Join the channel as, oh yeah, just join the channel. It helps us support us and helps us bring you all of this great content, especially during this World Cup. So number 23 is on for Uruguay, and that is Alonso. But also there is another change. I didn't quite see who it was, but I'll have that up for you soon. Moanga is in the 22. He clears. Can't kick it dead as the lineup was outside of the 22. So here is Alonso now. First touch of the ball. He's going to run it. And is met well by Sam Kane, who tackles him. Here's Arata. Arata feeds the big man, Kessler, who's... Oh, and this is bad. This is not good for... Finley Christie's picked it up. It was kind of knocked out of the ruck and kicked through. Takiao has it. Finley Christie feeds Jacobson. Jacobson out to T-Mac. Fainganuku, who just launches the ball way behind Moanga. It's not a good pass. To Caleb Clark, who is tackled well. Christie to Fainganuku, who rides the tackle of his opposite man, or rather opposite number, Freitas. They're inside the 22 now. Sam Whitelock having another rumble on his 150th game for the Men in Black. Finley Christie feeds Damien McKenzie at fly half. To Sam Kane, to Jacobson. And nope. Not quite a turnover. So Christie feeds McKenzie. McKenzie to Will Jordan, and Ethan Blackadder drops it cold off a fairly unsympathetic pass from Will Jordan. But, you know, New Zealand will be disappointed with that, but I think Uruguay will be just happy that they're going to get the ball back for a little bit. And it looks like the other two Barrett brothers will be showing their faces on the field, both of them warming up at the moment. And another change for Uruguay. Arata is going off and is being replaced by Augustin Ormachea. Ormachea? I'm going to say Ormachea. Ormachea. So, Arata is a bit of a... He's bloody good. He is so good. He's just... I mean, he would play for a lot of other international sides. And I think Arata does play in France, and you can tell by the crowd. They really, really got behind him, or rather cheered him as he came off. And that's really, really nice to see. I think the crowds in this World Cup have been sensational. Just the noise, the atmosphere in these stadiums have been so good. We've just entered into the last 20 minutes of the game, so the last quarter. 45-0. I'd love Uruguay to keep it under 60. I think that should be now their target, their main goal. They need to keep it under 60 to take anything from this game. The scrum's set, but it's being reset. The referee having a chat with both front rows, or both front rows, just saying that they need some balance in this scrum. And Felix the Fox, I don't see Uruguay pinching this. Oh, really? Why not? You know, what's 45? What's 45 points between friends? No, I think you might be a little bit right there, mate. Sadly, but yeah, you know, I didn't expect them to win. They can still go. No, well, they can't go through now. They're officially out now because they've given New Zealand the bonus point. Even if they did somehow come back and score 125 points in less than 20 minutes. So New Zealand do win a penalty at the scrum, and this Uruguay scrum is just under sheer pressure at the moment. And the ref just having a conversation with the number one for Uruguay, Sanguinetti, saying, look, you can go backwards, you can go forwards, but what you can't do is just chuck the whole scrum on the floor just to end it. So really, I like it. I like the good communication there from Wayne Barnes. And I think that's something that definitely makes him stand out as a referee. But as I talk about this, the Bowden and the Scott Barretts of the world are entering the fray, replacing Sam Whitelock and Richie Mwanga. So I imagine Damien McKenzie will go 10, Bowden Barrett will go to 15. Who is playing centre? I still don't know who's playing centre. But Sam Whitelock getting a standing ovation from the crowd here in Lyon, and rightfully so. I mean, the man is a legend and just one hell of a player. And another change here coming in the front row for Uruguay. I'll get to that in a second. McKenzie feeds Fainganuku, who runs back in field. He is brought down eventually by the number 22. Finley Christie feeds Fletcher Newell, still looking for that brace. He's, decently held up there. And Uruguay challenging for the ball. Have they stolen it? No, they haven't. Fainganuku comes up with it. I thought Shannon Frizzell went off. Why is he still on? Okay, well, Uruguay concede the penalty right in front of the sticks, and you'd think here New Zealand will go for the scrum and just rinse repeat, really. And it looks like there might be an injury here for Uruguay. And I can't see who it was. Someone's down with the medics around him. Number 17 for Uruguay, Matias Benitez, is coming onto the field. And he will be replacing Sanguinetti. The blue scrum capped prop has had a busy 63 minutes. I think he's actually played quite well. Obviously stopped the first try from coming with his intervention with Roygaard. And I think New Zealand have now emptied their entire bench. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Yep, New Zealand have made all their changes. So now I'm hoping Damien McKenzie will kick to get me some kicking points. And that is, I believe, all of the changes for Uruguay as well. And this prop that's just come on, Benitez, certainly has some big shoulder pads on, because that's not his shoulders. And that's a good point, I suppose. Not trying to discount Scotland. They certainly could beat Ireland. I don't think they will, but this kind of sets up the New Zealand-Ireland quarterfinal, and what a quarterfinal that's going to be. Obviously, I am going to be supporting Scotland against Ireland because, first of all, I am part Scottish, and I also live in Edinburgh. So, yeah, let's go Scotland. But anyway, games to come. So they will now finally get to the scrum. Finley Christie spinning the ball in his hands as they get the scrum set and down. And Finley Christie feeds. The pressure's coming through. New Zealand are walking through it. It is Jacobson, feeds Christie. Oh, and it's just such slick hands. Will Jordan over in the corner. Easiest try as you like. Just simple, small passes and just using width and no one anywhere near him. And that will be his 4th try of this competition. I think that's his 2nd tonight. And the difference in this game is that New Zealand are scoring a lot of team tries, not so many individual tries. Because that was just a walk-in for Will Jordan. And I mean, even the prop was involved in that one. That's just, oh, sorry, it wasn't a prop, but Lester Fainganuku is literally the size of a prop, so yeah. But easy walk-in try there for Will Jordan. He will be racking up some points on Fantasy League this weekend, as well as Damien McKenzie. In fact, just, you know, choose an All Black and plug him in your side. Chances are he's going to make some decent points. Damien McKenzie will be kicking for the last 15 minutes of this game. So hopefully, as much as I don't want it to happen, he now goes and gets a lot of kicks. And this one from out wide slots it straight down the middle. Just straight down. We now have 14 minutes left to go, and I think it's 52-0. Sorry, my Apple Watch just deciding it wants to go for a workout when I'm sitting still drinking beer. But sure. And sadly, this is becoming a bit of a blowout now. 52-0. Look, it's not the worst, but there's still time to play. Caleb Clark takes the kickoff, decides, no, I'm going to run this. Runs it out of the 22, so now they certainly cannot kick it straight into touch. Fletcher Newell feeds Newman, Scott Barrett, Finley Christie to Luke Jacobson. Finley Christie again, this time out to Bowden Barrett, who decides to kick. He's kicked it straight to Freitas, I think. No, who's 22? Number 22 is Berchesi, who kicks it, and it's well taken in by Christie. Leonard Brown takes it, acting scrum off. McKenzie whips it out to Takiyaho. Takiyaho decides, I'm going to go on a little bit of an adventure in field, so decides to go in. McKenzie feeds Will Jordan, and there's a break on the left, and it looks like Fainganuku will get his second, and does. Just falls over the line. Easy as you like. The All Blacks running a bit rampant now in this second half. And that, I think, is Lester Fainganuku's second try of the night. I think there's a bunch of players with braces now. McKenzie, Will Jordan, Fainganuku. I think it's just those three. And it was a good just delay and pass from Leonard Brown. Oof. And Berchesi's lucky. That was almost a high shot. And it's just too easy from the All Blacks, sadly. It's just way too easy for these tries now. And again, it is just, Uruguay falling off in the second half. Whether that's fitness, whether that's just, it's obviously a bunch of things. And it's against the All Blacks, so it's slightly unfair. But in that first half, Uruguay, they were playing well. They were playing really well. McKenzie from out left slots another one. That's 2 conversions from McKenzie. Brings the score up to 59-0. And you think, well, 3 more tries, and that will give New Zealand the 80 points. Will they get there though? That's the question. Uruguay needed to win by 80 to get into the quarterfinals. It looks like New Zealand might 80-0 them. So Berchesi will kick off again. Tries this again. They've kicked that every single time. And it's the new man. Who is it? Alonso? Yeah, Alonso doesn't make his tackle, but they've pushed actually New Zealand back into their own 22 quite far. Finley Christie feeds Bowden Barrett, launches the kick, and Silva just decides, you know what, I'm not taking this quickly. So they'll take the line out. But I mean, how lucky are you if you can bring Bowden Barrett on? So Pujadas will look at that. Meters made 1,071 for the All Blacks, 434 for Uruguay. That's not a bad stat for Uruguay, but it's the nature of the game. This nature of this game. The stat. Oh, and it's Pujadas was like, screw this. I'm passing to Ormachea right at the front of the lineup. But they are. Oh, there's been a knock on. New Zealand have turned it over. Finley Christie feeds Damien McKenzie, who feeds Ethan Blackadder, who is spot tackled, but he gets the pass off to Caleb Clark, who decides going forwards is the best alternative and does so. Gets him up to halfway, but there's no release. They will play the penalty. Finley Christie takes it quickly. Damien McKenzie to Leonard Brown. Leonard Brown out to Will Jordan. Will Jordan chips over the top. He's going to try and use his pace here. Doesn't quite manage it. And I think that was that Omachea? Yeah, no. Bashezi gets back and clears up, but is tackled. I think he brought the ball over the line, so it'll be a scrum. Yeah. So Will Jordan carries him over the line. And it'll be a 5-meter scrum to the All Blacks. We're into the final 10 minutes, people. Final 10 minutes. Will the All Blacks get this above 70? With a scrum here, it's looking likely to get it certainly over 60. And, you know, Will Jordan looking for his third, Damien McKenzie looking for his third, Fainganuku looking for his hat trick. There are a lot of players who are looking for their hat trick in this game. Certainly, they won't all get it, but hopefully Will Jordan can, and hopefully McKenzie can too. They're both in my fantasy team, so I would certainly love that. But yeah. The cameraman zooming in on the World Cup trophy picture and the year's one on the arm. Nice picture, that one on Will Jordan. Finley Christie will feed this scrum with 8.5 minutes left in this game. Quick to the back. Jacobson will not pick up. No, Jacobson will pick up and just kind of throws the ball backwards. To Finley Christie, has to clean up. Fainganuku then cleans up, but almost stripped, but not. Finley Christie feeds Takiaho. No, Frizzell. Now Takiaho. Finley Christie again goes to Blackadder. Blackadder hits the line, is well met by the Uruguayan 23, Alonso. Finley Christie goes to Damien McKenzie, who feeds to Mighty Williams. They're making dents all around the park. And a big run in from Fainganuku. Doesn't quite make it. Then Frizzell, again, doesn't quite make it. And it looks like they might use some forward grunt here to try and get the ball over the line. And they do so. And I believe it is 17 to Mighty Williams, who is, I think, is the heaviest player on the pitch. Or rather, in both teams. I think he weighs about 144 kgs of just New Zealand beef. And, you know, that's one hell of a tank to bring on. And a try to, well, there you go, a try to both prop replacements. That doesn't happen that often. And, you know, Uruguay just not handling the pressure of that the All Blacks are putting them under. And no surprise, I'd argue. That's a flippin' fridge of a man. He is big. Mighty Williams is huge. And look, I've played for teams where we've lost by 70 odd points, and it's not fun. It's really unfun. Bowden Barrett kicking. Damien McKenzie gone off? He can't have gone off. I guess they're just sharing the kicking. Interesting call, but fine. And it looks like Fletcher Newell has now had to be replaced by Tuanga Fasi because of an injury. With just under 6 minutes left in this game, 66-0. Fletcher Newell is off. Tuanga Fasi is on. What can these teams do in the last 5.5 odd minutes? So, Bashezi kicks off. Does keep it outside of the 22 this time, and it is not cleanly taken by the All Blacks, but they do have it. Finley Christie feeds Scott Barrett, who feeds Jacobson. Carries it out of the 22 well. Finley Christie's been dragged into the scrum, the ruck, but there's a penalty here. And you know what's interesting about this game? Not a single card. None. And that, in this World Cup, is a rarity, which is sad. But yeah, so New Zealand get the penalty, and Beauden Barrett launches it downfield. And it was number 19, which is Rodriguez, who was penalised that time. So, Takiaho throws to the front of the line out, taken by Frizzell. Sam Cane feeds Finley Christie. Finley Christie. Finley Christie feeds Caleb Clark, who I think is playing first centre. Then he out the back to Leonard Brown. Finley Christie again. Tries to go left this time to Fainganuku, to Tunga Farsi, who's been stopped well. Really good challenge there from Uruguay. Jacobson picks up because Finley Christie was dragged in. They're inside the 22 now. Oh, it's a good pickup there from Sam Cane off his bootlaces. Finley Christie feeds Ethan Blackadder, who then tries to link up with Caleb Clark, but can't, so holds it. Beauden Barrett. Finley Christie decides to throw it just a chicken wing pass to Will Jordan. Tupa Vai still over there. Out the back, Sam Cane. Oh, and Mackenzie feeds to Mighty Williams, who feeds Takiaho. Oh, Takiaho, I think we should have done better there. And Fainganuku will get his hat trick. The one player who I don't have gets his hat trick. Damn it! But just New Zealand continuity, just showing them the way here. And yeah, Finley Christie's little chicken pass there to Will Jordan was lovely. Fucking lovely. Fainganuku has played a lot of what you would consider to be like a bit more of a forward role. He's just popped up everywhere around the rucks, like he picked up here, straight off the back of a ruck, and just powered himself over, which, you know, is great. It's unusual for a winger to do that. So it's great that he does. Pops up everywhere. So Beauden Barrett will keep kicking. And I suppose that's just so they can, you know, both Mackenzie and Barrett can get a little bit of practice in. Beauden Barrett straight down the centre, 73-0. They could make it 80. They could with one more converted try. And this does put New Zealand firmly on 15 points. The only way that they can come second is if France win against Italy. They top the pool, obviously. But France actually still go ahead, even if they get 2 losing bonus points. Didn't even think of that. So Uruguay kick off, and I think it's Caleb Clark who decides to run it out of the 22. And this is approaching the end of the game now with less than 2 minutes to go. Beauden Barrett's clear streak up the middle, and he is flying. He decides to kick. Not a good kick. Awful kick from Barrett. I can see what he was trying to do, but he just mishit it. Because Damien McKenzie was streaking up the right-hand side of the pitch. And Barrett tried to get it on the outside of his foot, but didn't manage to. And it kind of just went straight and went dead. But what a break there from Barrett. And yeah, he tries to get a kick off the side of his foot, but just no way. It's not a good kick from him. And he knows it, to be fair. Uruguay try a quick 22 dropout and a shallow one, but Scott Barrett does claim it. And Anton Leonard Brown feeds Beauden Barrett. Damien McKenzie goes behind to Fainganuku. Yes. Who's tackled well by... Ooh. Just a knock-on from Uruguay coming through to make the tackle. Takiaho's done well to maintain it. Finley Christie feeds Mackenzie. Mackenzie to feed Jacobson. This is just good, clean hands here. Blackadder on the wings. Again, Leonard Brown deputising at scrum half. Mackenzie decides to take on the line, tries to free his hands, but no one's really running the right line. Christie to Bowden Barrett, out the back to Flying Nuku, who takes on the line instead of passing. Christie again will go to the right this time, tries a little dart, is wrapped up, and they're in the red zone now, and Uruguay get the penalty. And they'll play quickly, and they're going to the left. They're just going to, try something, and good on them. Oh, it's good. Go play. Oh, and Sam Kane has managed to get back just outside his 22 to mop it up. And that will be the end of the game through the knock-on from New Zealand. So the game will end 73-0. And, it's like I said, Uruguay just cannot replicate their first half. Their first half was, they were getting pummeled, but they were exciting. They were defending pretty well. They were attacking well. And they just cannot replicate that in the second half. New Zealand just steamrolled them in the second half. And you could just see how tired they were. You could see the tired bodies from Uruguay. You could see that, and, players that you could argue needed to stand up for New Zealand in order to put their names in for these spots in, let's say, on the bench, like Mackenzie, probably claimed that number 23. 2 back-to-back, absolutely huge games. And, it's going to be the most amazing of headaches for Ian Foster, choosing his All Black side to face whoever they face in the quarterfinal. Most likely Ireland, but I hope Scotland can upset them. But not Uruguay, as much as they got steamrolled, they can be proud of what they've done in this World Cup. I think Uruguay have played amazing rugby this World Cup, and they can take a lot of heart. They're going the right way. Sadly, there's only so much that they can do before they absolutely, and it's the thing we keep hearing with these tier 2 nations, is they need the support. They need the financial support. They're just not really getting it. I mean, if you look at a stat, I think it was Uruguay. Uruguay spent the same amount of money on their rugby team in the one World Cup cycle, or it was last year or this year, I can't remember, that England had used just getting Eddie Jones out of his contract and bringing Steve Borthwick in and buying him out of the Leicester contract. That's ridiculous. That shows how badly these teams are funded. I think a lot needs to change. But yes, it's a drubbing, but Uruguay can be proud of their performance in this World Cup. They've won a game. They've scored more tries than they've ever scored before, and they pushed France to a stuttery win. They were threatening Italy in that first half, or rather before the second half. So they're building, and it's good to see. But sadly, a bit of a battering tonight at the hands of the All Blacks, who are just in dominant form at the moment. So, it kind of is what it is. But still, these tier 2 nations, and particularly Chile and Uruguay, they're giving me a lot of hope for their future. And especially Chile coming in and being really great in their first World Cup. It's really good to see. So my name has been Cal. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and obviously check us out on all of the other games that we are going to be streaming. And don't forget to check out our sponsors, BitDefender and BOYLESPORTS. They are why this happens. They allow us to bring you all this amazing content. So don't forget, we're here for the rest of the World Cup. Check out their links in the description below. And I will see you again for England versus Samoa on Saturday. Have a great end of your week, guys. Have a great Friday.